Okay, so now we're going to meet someone that I've had a chance to see grow in her career. That's been a real blessing to me to watch how she has become an established copywriter on her own. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to please welcome Miss Pauline Longdon.
Thank you so much, Carline, and thank you for having me in this wonderful event. I mean, I'm still pinching myself. I'm bookended by amazement. I've got Paris on one side, Gary Bensavenga on the other. I mean, you know, what a dream come true. But I think it's really quite poignant at the moment, me being up in the middle of the night. It's actually 3:45 in the morning. And why it's so poignant is that Clayton was the first person who I ever got up in the middle of the night for. Like, you know, I actively gave up sleep to go to his mentoring and his mastermind calls. And it's something that put me in good stead because now I'm a Paris Lampropolis cub. I'm very proud to say that. So I guess that makes me a grandchild of Clayton's. But, you know, I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning listening to Paris and being active. So something that Clayton put and instilled in me is that you don't wait for the mountain to come to you. You go to the mountain because, you know, as we all know, you don't wait because it could be too late. You just never know. So Clayton was my first ever copy crush. I'll never forget the time I first read his copy. I read it and I just gushed. I thought, if I could write half as well as he could, I would be a happy copywriter. And I waited so long. So I finally got my opportunity to tell him that he was my copy crush. I went to a financial copywriter. I'm so nervous. I'm just awestruck. I'm just looking at this panel across, no pressure. Anyway, so I just imagine, anyway. So yeah, I went to a Clayton Makepeace financial writing workshop in Denver, Colorado in 2016. I was doing it pretty tough at the time. And so AWAI gave me a really great price on that, so I could take my partner Ray. And I went there and there was Clayton, obviously it was his, there was Dave Deutsch and Paris Lampropolis, and that's where I actually like hassled Paris, I think, for the last time to be a copy cub, and he said send me an email. But anyway, back to Clayton. So what happened though, I finally went up to Clayton and I said, Clayton, if I could write half as well as you, I'd be a very happy woman. And he said to me, Pauline, do not compare your first draft to my 16th or 17th draft. And those words have stuck with me forever, because too often as copywriters, and this is where that horrible imposter syndrome comes in, is that we're looking at a published magalog and we go, man, I'll never be like that. But Clayton's first draft wasn't like that. His second draft wasn't like that. His third draft wasn't like that. And that's something that I've had pushed, you know, like reinforced with Paris, because I mean, getting, well, the beautiful thing is that I've been taught by Clayton, I've been taught by Carline, I've been taught by Paris. I mean, I've got like the holy trinity of Claytonists right there. And every time Paris says something, I just go, I've heard that from Clayton, but he puts it in a different dimension. Then obviously Paris NDAs can't say, so, you know, we're safe here, matey. But yeah, so that's, I'm so grateful. But how did I find Paris? How did I find Gary Bensavenga? Because in 2014, I traveled halfway around the world. I borrowed money from a friend that I hardly knew to buy a ticket to the Titans of Direct Response event in Connecticut. And why did I do that? Well, I'll tell you why I did that. It was because I had found Clayton Makepeace before I found any of those people. And I just looked at it and I went, the only way that I can be the copywriter that I truly feel that I'm destined to be is to get myself out of Australia. And I can say confidently that if I had just stayed at home where it was comfortable to learn and comfortable to get that the experience, I would not be here today as a copywriter. I would have given up a long time ago. So what I would say is, like, being involved with Clayton basically opened up my, Clayton Makepeace, I believe, was a once in a lifetime teacher, mentor, and a friend. Finding Clayton basically opened up the doors to the copywriting kingdom for me, because, like, look at where I am today. Like, I'm going to be pinching myself and my face is going to be redder than my shirt about like just the reality of this. But something that was brought up was that Clayton made you feel just so included. And I have never felt so accepted by someone in my whole life. My first boot camp, I was so nervous. It was 2015. And Ray and I, my partner, had been talking to Clayton for a while on Facebook. And so in moving down, I hadn't caught up with Clayton for the at the boot camp. And so I was walking out of one of the lifts at the Marriott in Delray Beach. And I got out of the lift with a guy called John. And I walked down towards the ballroom, and as we're walking, John's kind of ignoring me because he was kind of a big deal. Anyway, so we started walking, and then all of a sudden Clayton locked eyes with me and went, "Oh my goodness, Pauline, I've been waiting so long to see you." And just as John went in to shake Clayton's hand, Clayton brushed past John and goes, "Pauline, oh, wait a minute, John, I've got to catch up with Pauline. I've been waiting so long to meet this woman." Gave me the great big bear hug. And John just looked at me and went, "Who is this woman?" Do you know who that John was? John Carlton.
Carlton.
It was like he pushed John Carlton out of the way to like give little insignificant me a hug. And that to me, just like, I just knew that he was just such an amazing, inclusive, just loving man. So yeah, just Clayton taught me so much about everything. But really, I just want to say to everyone, in 2016, 2017, Ray and I did what we call the 3-peak tour of America. We went to America. We were taught by Clayton, Dan Kennedy, and Ted Nicholas. And as we know, Dan Kennedy nearly passed away a couple of years ago. I have no regrets. I love the fact that I got off my butt, flew halfway around the world. And by the way, all the trips were separate. So we traveled all the way there, and basically I invested in myself. I didn't, hold back. I didn't wait for the mountain to come to me. So if anything that Clayton has taught me indirectly, and I doubt that he knew that he taught me, but he basically taught me to get off my butt and go for what you want. So I'm very grateful to that. And thank you, Carline. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, I gotta take a few minutes here. We gotta stay put where you are, Pauline, because you said some really, really powerful things I think that will help new writers. First of all, let me tell the funny Pauline story that I remember. I guess it must have been your first boot camp, at least the first boot camp. I didn't know you at the time, so I'm looking at pictures. I'm taking pictures of boot camp. I got some pictures of me and Clayton, other people, and I'm starting looking at my pictures. And I'm looking at the behind, and Pauline was photobombing all the pictures. I was trying to find one. It wasn't coming out clear. You're just like, I mean, you're just jumping all those pictures. And we're looking back, going, who is this person who has just photobombed the photos? I got to get to know her because that's a funny woman. That's a funny person. So that's the funny part. But you said a couple of things I want to make sure that especially new copywriters hear again. When you talk about not comparing, when Clayton said, don't compare your first draft to my 16th or 17th draft, you wrote that in your e-zine when you sent it out. And when I read that, when I contacted you, I said, I need you to come and speak, because that is something that I think all writers get stuck on, thinking, oh my goodness, look how good this draft is, look how good this copy is, not realizing all the work that went into it. When Paris mentioned how he would look at what he turned in to Clayton, and then he would see what Clayton did, and then he would then look and see, like, oh, that's what he did. That's what he did. Well, when I turned my copy into Clayton and I saw what he did, I was still going, oh, the but, that's my word. That's my word. He left that word in there. Yes, I got a the, and I got a but and an and. Yes, I rock. That would be what was left in my copy by the time he went through it. So I can definitely relate to that. But that is a very powerful lesson, is don't intimidate yourself by thinking that, I can never write as good as that. And the other thing that you said I thought was extremely, extremely powerful, was not said that you lived, was how you invested in yourself. You borrowed money to go someplace because you felt like, I needed this to get me to this next level. So investing in yourself is what we all have to do. At some point, all of us had to take that step and say, I'm going to do this. When Gary Bencivenga had his seminar, I'm like, shoot, I need to borrow some money. I gotta get over here, and so had to do it, had to hustle. I'm like, I want to be there. I got to be there, because if I am there, it will be a pivotal point in my career. And it absolutely was. Ted Kennedy Is it Ted Kennedy who did it? No, I forgot who. Dan Kennedy. When my first Dan Kennedy seminar, I had to borrow $4,000 to attend his seminar. I tried to work on a payment plan with Dan so I could make it, because I knew I had to be there. And within noon, that was the best decision I had made for myself. That was very, very early on my career. So investing in yourself, I think, especially women, we have such a hard time with this because, we'll say, oh, we need the money for our kids' college education, or we need the money to save it for, or give it to so-and-so for their vacation or their this. And you're like, hey, that kid's gonna go to college for 4 years, you think you're gonna have a job by the time he's done? I'm like, is that a good return on your investment where you're serious about what you want to do? So take some of that cash and invest it in yourself and get better. So thank you. Thank you very much. I thought those were great lessons to pass on to, especially up and coming aspiring writers. You're going to have to, at some point, invest in yourself. So thank you, Pauline, very much.